This insect doesn't kill its prey. Instead, it takes control of the prey's brain. Then it lays eggs inside the victim's body and raises its offspring there. During this brutal process, the prey stays alive. It sounds more terrifying than a horror movie, but it's completely real. And this horrifying act is carried out by the jewel wasp. This is an insect that takes over a cockroach's brain and turns it into a living zombie. In today's video, we'll discover how this tiny insect turns a fully grown cockroach into its obedient servant and then keeps its offspring alive inside the victim's body. Once you learn the terrifying reality behind this insect, you'll be shocked. The jewel wasp, scientifically known as ampulex compressa, looks like a fairly ordinary parasitic wasp. It is only about 2 to 3 centimeters long, but its abilities leave even scientists amazed. This insect is commonly found in warm regions, especially parts of Africa and Asia. Its main target is large cockroaches. But it doesn't simply kill its prey, it controls the prey while it's still alive. That's what makes it different from almost every other creature. Everything begins with a strange hunting process. The jewel wasp doesn't just jump directly onto a cockroach, it's a cold and calculated hunter. First, it stings the cockroach in the front legs, causing temporary paralysis. Then comes the second step, the truly horrifying part. The wasp moves towards the cockroach's head and drives its dagger-like stinger directly into the brain. But here's the shocking part. The cockroach doesn't die. Instead, something even more terrifying begins. This is where the real horror show starts. The jewel wasp injects a special neurotoxin into the cockroach's brain, which completely shuts down its escape response, the instinct to run away. The cockroach can still walk, but it no longer makes decisions. It loses its free will. It no longer recognizes danger, doesn't run, and doesn't hide. This is a form of biological mind control. Scientists call it active behavioral manipulation. At this point, the cockroach becomes completely obedient, a living zombie. Now begins the most terrifying part. The jewel wasp grabs the cockroach and leads it back to its nest. What's strange is the cockroach doesn't even try to escape. It simply walks silently, as if following someone else's command. It feels like a scene straight out of a movie, a victim walking willingly toward its own grave. Now the wasp performs its most important task. It lays an egg on the cockroach's body, but not just on the outside. It places the egg inside the cockroach's body, and the cockroach is still alive, but its body no longer belongs to itself. Inside it, a new life is beginning to grow. A few days later, the egg hatches into a larva, and now comes the cruelest truth. The larva slowly starts feeding on the cockroach's body, but very strategically. It avoids eating vital organs at first, keeping the cockroach alive because it needs fresh food. The cockroach remains alive while slowly being hollowed out from the inside. This is one of nature's most terrifying survival strategies. Scientists still don't fully understand how the jeweled wasp controls behavior with such precision, because this isn't just an attack, it's a form of neurological programming. It's as if the cockroach's brain gets reset. That's why some scientists call it nature's brain hacker. One of the most unbelievable things about the jeweled wasp is it doesn't just control the cockroach, it actually programs its future behavior, meaning after stinging its prey, it doesn't simply paralyze it, it rewires the prey's neural system. Scientists have discovered that when the jeweled wasp inserts its stinger into the cockroach's head, it injects venom into 2 very specific regions. One part shuts down motor control, while the other deletes the instinct to escape. It's almost like controlling a living robot with a remote. What's even more disturbing is the jeweled wasp doesn't knock its prey unconscious. Instead, it leaves the cockroach fully aware but completely helpless. The cockroach can still see its surroundings, it can still feel, but it can't do anything. And that's what makes it even more terrifying. As frightening as this sounds, the truth is, the jeweled wasp is not directly dangerous to humans. It cannot control the human brain because its target is very specific, cockroaches only. But the scariest question is, if one tiny insect can turn a cockroach into a zombie, could there be many more unknown control systems in nature? Creatures we still don't understand? Maybe some are secretly controlling others in ways we haven't even discovered yet, and perhaps we don't even realize it. What did you think about today's video? Let us know in the comments, and stay with us for more mysterious and mind-blowing facts from the hidden world of nature.